Good afternoon, K-Truck fans. It's headlight day. I purchased these late last year off of Amazon. I'll put the link below. They're low beams, high beams, running lights, and turn signal all built in through these 5 wires here. So the first step to these lights is we're just going to stick them in and see how they work. They should be okay. I've looked at the drawing for the wiring for the light, and the headlight should work fine. The DRL and the turn signal have extra wiring here that I'll have to splice in. So let's see what they look like. So here's the current headlight. Works just fine. Some of you may have seen an earlier video where I took this all apart, so some of this shouldn't be too surprising. There we go. That's standard 5x7 headlight. It's held in with these spring screws on this plate. So all we got to do is shift the plate. See if I can show you. Each hole has a capture point for the screw. So this whole plate, this whole thing can rotate clockwise, push in, rotate, and I can pull it out. Let's see if I can do that. There we go, you line each up. Bingo. Get some grease in there. There's a new one. Plug it right in and we'll start a fire, or it won't work. This is one of these is the running light, one of these is the turn signal. Both of which are kind of available here. We'll see how that works. I gotta look that up. Let's turn it on and see what happens. It's a high beam, low beam. So this alternates orange and white, and then this is just a running light. There's a good view of the difference. Nice white LEDs. There's a good shot of the beam pattern against the wall, old and new. There's the brights. There's the low beam. Pretty nice. Nice cut off the top there. A couple other things I'm going to add into this changeover. One of which is taking this surround off. I'm going to clean it up, and I'll probably paint it because it's mildly corroded, and there's no point in getting that any worse. So I'll take them both off and clean these up. I'll show you some of that. Probably paint it black. So like I said, I'm going to take these surrounds off, get these cleaned up. They're just held on with these 3 screws, these 3 little plates that push the light in. One in the corner, one on the bottom. Scratch that. One on the top, and then 2 in the bottom corners. Both sides are identical, left and right. That was fun. It's got a little rubber coating on it. Here's the OG headlight, Koito, K-O-I-T-O. They work just fine, but we'll get these cleaned up and painted. Here's a good look at the front of the truck without the lights in it. Looks a little skeleton-y. Pretty cool, huh? So here's the light covers right off the truck. A little corroded, a little dirty. I'm gonna clean them up, maybe wire wheel them a little bit. See what we got. I'll show you when they're ready. Here they are, all cleaned up. Corrosion was removed. Yes. Ready for paint. Okay.
3 days later.
So I got these headlight surrounds all cleaned up, primed and painted. They look real nice now, even though I'll never see them. So I got myself the electrical service manual in English for the Minicab. I'm going to work through these harnesses because the headlight works as is right now with the high and the low and the ground. And then also on the front here, there is a, when this is in place, there's a turn signal on the top and like a marker light on the bottom. So I can use those two signals in this harness for the running light and the turn signal in the new headlight. Instead of making these connections out here, I'm going to hunt this harness out. Inside the car, there's a connector for this harness, so I can pull that out, and we can probably make our connections inside instead of out here. This is all nicely wrapped up. And so we're here under the driver's side right now. There's the steering column. There you go. This plastic housing is the back end of the headlight, and right up here you can see it is the headlight harness where it comes in. So I'm gonna pull this out. Hopefully we can make some connections in here and run them through the gasket here to the outside. So I'll see what I can take apart. You can see a couple holes here. This is just sort of an access hole where that black panel was. And right up here, that's where the harness came through. This one. So now I can do this on the bench instead of on the truck. So I have the whole harness apart, ground. These two bright ones, red and orange, are for the headlight. So you can see right here. And these two, this green and blue one, are for the turn and the marker light. So these are the two, and this is the part that's inside the vehicle, as I discussed earlier. I got these little T-taps that take a little quick connect, so I can do that inside the car. And the headlights conveniently came with a little chunk of wire that's already prepared that I can run from the tap out the harness to the light. So that'll be pretty handy. So I have the harness mostly assembled here. You can see the two lines. These will go with the headlight plug on the outside to the turn and the marker light. Inside the past the boot here, I have these two T-taps on the green wires, and one will got some ends crimped on here, a little tape so they don't move, a little tape so the plastic here doesn't move, and one will plug into which one. So before I completely wrap this up, let's go test it. So I got the harness strung into the car, I got the other side plugged up, I got the headlight plugged in, and the turn and the running light. Stick it in the hole and see what we get.
That's what she said.
Okay, that's just running light. We'll do a turn signal. Ooh. Headlight. Wow. Look at that. It probably doesn't look as cool on the camera as it does in real life. But it's working. Success. I'm going to duplicate it with the other side and we'll put it all together. Here's the first harness all taped up, ready to go back in. I even put the OEM tag back on just for funsies. This Tesla tape I used on the outside behind the boot for the new wires. And that'll be inside. I'll tuck that away indoors. In order to access the headlight here on the passenger side, the glove box had to come out to get to the harness. Right back there. In case you're wondering, the glove box comes out with, hold on, you can see seven screws that hold this to the frame. 4 here on the top, 3 on the bottom down there. And then it just comes right out the front. And there's the top of our harness for the headlights. See that piece of tape over it. So I'll get that out, we'll get that fixed up, and should be good to go. through the hole. Remove the harness. So there's our two harnesses all ready to go. I'll get them back in the truck, and we'll see if these lights work. I got the harness back in. I got the boot back in the hole right here, and I didn't notice until I finished, but there is a dead praying mantis sitting right there in that little space. So I'll get that out of there. Crunchy, very crunchy. Look at that. Probably way too close. Let me fix that. There he is. Before I put these back on, the last part is to get these frames reattached to the headlights, like so. So I'm leaving this plastic on, if you haven't figured out already, because these are plastic, and I don't want to scratch the hell out of them before I get them in place. So it might look like it's getting in the way at times, but it's keeping the light from getting all messed up. So this is the top. This will be the driver's side. The turn signals are inboard, not outboard. So suppose if you felt like it, this could be the passenger side without incident. So if you pick these up, they'll work on either side. Get this top one tightened down. And there's two more on the bottom corners, here and here. There's this interesting little kidney shape to fit around the lights. Yeah, so that's secure in its housing. Little thing I just noticed, actually. There's an L up here on this part and an R on the other one. So if you completely get lost, you can check on the bulb. Well, like I said before, if you don't feel like it, you can put them on the other side. They're your lights. You put them how you want, I guess. So I got a little grease on everything. I got it all plugged in nice and snug. It's ready to go in. So we'll put it in the same way I took it out. Line up all these holes. Push and turn. And you can see, this one's hard to see probably, but that snaps this screw into place so they're all seated. Here, let's do a part I know a lot of you have been waiting for. Huh? Nice, huh? Okay, here's the other one in place. I wouldn't leave you out of this part. There you go. Let's see what they look like.
And you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours.
Turning lights. Beautiful. Headlights. Low beams. Beautiful. High beams. Beautiful. Those look really good with the plastic off. Right. Looking great. Left. It really doesn't come through on the camera as well, but it's really good in person. Four ways. A lot of orange in the front. There's a look at them. From over here on. Let me turn everything off. There, off. Even off, they look kind of cool. Got a white ring. So just do. So there they are without headlights. Just running lights. That's fun. I think they were worth the, I don't know, $89 I spent on them or something like that. So here's one more thing we'll look at. Here's the wall we're pointing at. There's the low beams. There's the high beams. We're pretty close. They aren't aimed yet, but I think they're pretty close. So we'll get that taken care of. This is already 10 times brighter than the halogens were, so I think we're doing pretty good. Here's the inside of the vehicle again, where we started before. If you do this, I would highly recommend taking off this little inner panel. It makes getting this boot in and out nice and easy. It's only 2 bolts right here and right here. So overall, I think that worked out pretty well. You can obviously get other LED headlights that don't have these turns in the daytime running like I have here. That would simplify your installation considerably because it'd basically be an in and an out. I was concerned previously about negative switching on, see, look what I did. Negative switching on these lights, but Mitsubishi doesn't appear to do that on this truck. So if you get new headlights of any sort, 5x7s, it should be a 1-to-1 swap on your Minicab. I obviously can't speak for a Sandbar or a Carry or anything like that, so the Minicab here, this Minicab is positive switched, which is really nice. All in all, I think it looks really good. Highly recommended upgrade. Not very expensive at all, and if I get to it, you see my camera's getting nice and hot. If I get to it, I'll also include some nighttime shots. Hopefully, I have no befores for halogens, but I'll show you what these look like in the dark if I can work that out. So thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned for some nighttime shots. It's been about 3 weeks since the last clip you just saw. We're back outside. I've had time to live with these new lights for a little while. We're starting here at my garage door with no lights on. This is solely the marker light, the running light, the daytime running light. And then here's the headlights. You can see they're nice and bright. One downside I have noticed to these bulbs is you can sort of see the bottom of the you can see the bottom of the projection here has a very defined cutoff, and what that does is provide a lot of light at the bottom, which is very distracting while you're driving. I'll take it on a little spin so you can kind of see what that looks like, because in front of the garage the top of the light is very bright, but out on the road that projects so far that that line is kind of disappears. There's the high beams. Real close you can see a nice, in the real world I can see a nice square cutoff. I'm sure the camera can't pick that up. But let's go for a little spin. Pretty light free road. You can see the beam pattern. The end of it probably disappears in the video, but it goes pretty far. You can see how bright it is up close here. If we pop the brights on, it adds a little bit. It could be a little higher, but it adds a bit to it. So again, it's a marked improvement over the halogens. Here a little bit with just the low beams. It's a pretty flat section of this road. stopped in a parking lot here just to take a look at, we'll get out and have a take a look at the beam pattern on the ground. It's a good look from above. I'll go to the side. It goes pretty far. It fills the whole lot. And nice and bright. There's a shot. And these are low beams. Probably doesn't come across as well on the camera as it does in real life. Here's the switch. High. The only difference, really lights up that center. Down the middle, goes much further. So it goes to the end of the lot. I would say this lot is 300 feet. Hard to tell. Probably 300 feet. When it gets to the end. Let me stand in them. There we go. You can see a bit of spill right in front of the truck. Not a big deal. It's just the way they are. Doesn't get in the way of the driving. So let's turn those brights off. There, a little high bright spill. We'll turn the lights off. So there's a lot of that spill is just the running light. So yeah, pretty good upgrade. I can't vouch for any other LEDs. So far these are doing pretty good. I know I said it already, but thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you again next time. So if you look on the right there, you can see the coolant temperature gauge has moved off of cold. That's about where it sits when it's at temp. I only bring this up because somebody commented that they've never seen one move. So it's true, they do move when the cooling system is working properly.